On today's episode, the Cubs get blasted by the Marlins, but we don't necessarily go over the entire game. We're going to zoom in on another factor in the works. Plus, could four-man rotations be coming to MLB in 2023? And we pay our respects to Frank Schwindel, who was released over the weekend. All ahead on this edition of Locked On Cubs.
Are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen every day on the Chicago National League Ball Club. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Always grateful to say that. And thanks for joining us for this Tuesday edition of the program. The Cubs got crushed by the Marlins on Monday night, but it shouldn't have been too much of a surprise. Obviously, the run scoring on the Marlins side is discouraging, but the run scoring on the Cubs side, really since Thursday or Friday of last week, has been absolutely horrendous. And we're going to explain why here in a minute. Sam, nice pullover. You're making me think of college basketball season, and a lot going on tonight.
It's explainable why the Cubs are where they are right now offensively, because they're putting out a lineup that simply is very hard to watch. Now, this is no fault of the Cubs, whatever. We've gone over Horner and Suzuki and, them being out and whatnot. But part of this show, part of what makes this show awesome and what makes it so cool is that we're diehard fans. And we speak through the fan lens. And there are a lot of people that watch this show on a regular basis that are like us, that are still watching this team. And to those people out there, this is the hard part. This is the hard part. Watching Yan Gomes hit third, this is the hard part. Look, we are going to continue to talk about the future of this team because the future is bright. But anything that really goes on from now till the end of the season with these guys that are currently playing, especially with the opponents they're playing, because they're not even playing contending opponents anymore, so you're not even getting other teams' best. It's hard right now, Matt, and this is what you get. This is the hard part of being in a rebuild and a whatever you want to call it. Yan Gomes, who's no fault of his own, he's been hitting the ball great, but him hitting third to Major League, I don't think he should be hitting third to Double-A lineup.
No, it's not good. The situation with the lineup is this. So you have Horner still out. You have Suzuki on paternity leave. You have Contreras and Madrigal recently IL'd. So the Cubs, in my mind, and I'll give the lineup from Monday night in a second here, potentially had the worst lineup in the game on Monday. You had, in this batting order, McKinstry at second, Happen left, Gomes catching, Reyes DH, Higgins at first, Bodie at third, Velasquez in right, Hermosillo in center, and Morel at short. We went over Yan Gomes on Monday's episode. He's had a red-hot September.
Sure.
Obviously not a three-hitter. Okay, does McKinstry leading off do anything for you? Then we have a few guys.
Is that a rhetorical question, or would you like me to answer?
No, it was rhetorical.
Okay.
And then we have a few guys who are playing out of position. You have Higgins at his secondary spot. You have Bodie arguably at his secondary spot. You have Morel at short again. Higgins is hitting fifth. Hermosillo is hitting 100 after he just returned last week. But boy, so not exactly an all-star lineup there.
There's a base hit.
Not for the Brewers tonight.
No. Don't say that name on the show. It's bad, Matt. I give credit to the people that watch. This is the hard part, right? This is the hard part.
You give credit to the people that watch.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, we
watch it because it's what we do. We have to talk about it. But I found myself watching that game tonight, And I'll admit it felt like an extension of my workday.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a grind. It
To
was a
say the
grind to get
least.
through. Yeah.
To
Yeah.
say the least. And the Cubs have amazing fans. We have amazing, listeners, and
Right.
we all deserve better, and it's coming. It's coming. I continue to remind our listeners that because it's important. It's coming. It's not one of those situations where it could come and then we're still waiting to see if the quarterback pans out. I.e., last evening on our northern border. Man, am I getting tired of losing to Green Bay?
There's a
But
bingo spot for Bears discussion.
that's neither here nor there. We don't have to wait to see if a quarterback's good. We're going to be good when we get some guys, and it's just this is hard right now, Matt. And Higgins and Morrell and McKinstry and Gomes. It sounds like a 12U club.
It sounds like a law firm.
No, don't even give him that much credit.
Okay. All right.
Are you at all concerned about Estrada so far since we did a show about him? I'm waiting to see him start to get consistent men out.
Well, today he was better, right? After the inherited runs.
Yeah, sure. Right.
He was better. 2 innings, 4 Ks, got a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah.
Otherwise, before today, yes.
What's his ERA down to now? 16?
I'm not sure.
Let me look.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just joshing.
Come on, man.
I'm messing around as the Cubs are down to their final out, and guess who it is? It's going to be Hermosillo. Oh yeah, Estrada's the ERA's down to 3.18. He's doing fine. I don't know what I was talking about.
Okay. Well, listen.
Rowan Wick gave up 2 more runs tonight.
Yes, he did. And Wade Miley wasn't very good tonight.
Correct.
Gave up a lot of hits.
Right.
But listen, I think Tuesday night's game has an option to be a slow pitch softball score.
And why is that?
I just feel like it's might be something that's in the cards.
Who's
You have Adrian Sampson for the Cubs.
Yeah.
And then you have Lopez for the Marlins.
I don't think that's going to be a slow pitch softball score. Unless it's a one-sided tilt, Cubs aren't going to put up more than 5 runs against Lopez. That guy can pitch.
At this, yeah, he can. And
tonight's kind of like a slow pitch softball score.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Okay, never mind.
Forget what I said. No, I don't want to forget what you said.
I would like maybe for them to pick the lineup out of a hat on Wednesday against Lazarado.
And by the way, they did. Did you see they did one of those themed trips?
What was the theme?
I think they were all dressed up.
They can't get more than 3 runs in a game?
I think Stroman dressed up. He wore a Walter Payton jersey. A couple other guys.
It was NFL jersey day.
No, because Rivas was dressed up as Luigi. And here's my take on that. That stuff's all good and dandy when Joe Madden's riding and you're in first place. When you're going to lose
97 wins, yeah.
Yeah, when you're going to lose in the mid-90s, there's no theme trips, folks.
No,
okay?
there's
not. Nobody's laughing. I understand it's been a long year. And if you listen to this show, we sympathize with that. And we like the direction the Cubs are heading. But there's 2 ways to look at it. We always talk about it. The future, and we've talked about how exciting that is, and the present. But the present matters to us. The future's not guaranteed, and this present stinks, and I don't want to see anybody dressed up.
Yeah, nobody wants this present under the tree.
Right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
So there's that.
Nah, it's I'm tired of all my teams not being good at once.
Yeah, that's happened a lot though recently, right?
Well, it's like the last 28 or so years. It's about that time. Time frame. Almost 3 decades.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no. Right.
All right. We move on to the next part of the show in which we discuss actually we're gonna can I just say something real quick?
You always yell at me when I say yeah it's your show.
Okay, so
I'm waiting for you to say something. I'm getting nervous that something just happened.
It did. So we share an account with Can I talk about this or no? We're gonna get in trouble.
I don't think you should talk about that. We're in the middle of a
Okay.
show. We're in the middle of a show.
I
Just go
did.
on.
I got distracted for a second. I
Yeah, that's okay.
apologize.
It's okay. Listen, you don't.
Okay.
You're nobody's grading you here. Okay, we're
Right.
talking about a baseball team that's hitting Jan Gomes third. You could come on this show right now and do it, ring around the Rosie, and nobody would care. You know what I
After
mean?
the break, we talk about the possibility of 4-man rotations in MLB in 2023. But first, we want to tell you about LinkedIn Jobs. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high stakes wager for your small business. And you want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. We all know how easy it can be to use LinkedIn and their platform. They have simple tools like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience. So you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Can I update you on something?
Yeah, please.
As we are recording here, Max Scherzer is perfect through 6 at Miller Park, whatever they call it now.
Yeah, I got the game tracker up.
How cool is that?
It's awesome. I hope he keeps it going.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I hope he keeps it going. Sam, Ken Rosenthal reported on Monday teams are considering moving to a 4-man rotation in 2023, or at least trying it, the so-called piggyback system, when a starter would pitch maybe 4 or 5 innings, and then you would have relief pitchers who could go 3 or 4 or 5. In terms of the composition of the roster, you would just be down to 4 starting pitchers then who could go the 4 or 5 plus. Then there would also be a group of about 4 relievers who are capable of going that 3 plus, and then 5 other relievers out of the pen, since there's a total of 13 pitchers on what's now the 26-person roster. So any thoughts on this, or excuse me, what are your thoughts on this? Because
Yeah, what if I say no?
I'm definitely a little more old school about it.
Well, I think it's interesting because the Cubs are a team that really could employ this, right? They have a lot of guys. Now, I thought they could do a 6-man rotation, right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought they could do a 6-man rotation, but what they're going to do is if they do a 4-man rotation and then just have them pitch shorter innings, it gives guys like Alzolay, Wisniewski, and Keegan Thompson's significant roles on the team without actually having to put them in starting rotations. I'm intrigued by it, but I haven't done this in a while, and I know you're going to roll your eyes at me and probably off the air text me you want a new partner. But
Stop it.
But I just am concerned. Can David Ross handle all this? This is that's a lot to handle, right? Like, okay, we know going into the game.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't seen that really yet anywhere.
We know going into the game today that it's going to be Justin Steele and he's going to be piggybacked by Keegan Thompson. Well, when does David Ross pull the plug? Is he not going to let Justin Steele go 6? Or how is that going to work? Those type of situations concern me on that.
Yeah, I don't trust David Ross to do that for a smidge of a second. Right. I saw more quotes from him today that were really troubling.
Would you care to elaborate?
Well, there was a rewind from a previous article in The Athletic because today Scott Harris got named the president of baseball ops for the Tigers.
Right.
And Scott Harris worked.
I don't know what happened there.
Worked for the Cubs, and then he was the GM for the Giants the last couple of years, and now he's running the show in Detroit. Well, David Ross, I know you could say he was goofing around, but still, I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
You can't all enough.
Wait, what did he say?
He insinuated that Scott Harris should just wear his World Series ring around Chicago and just Just get women all the time. That's David Ross's focus back then.
Wait. I'm sorry. You got to rewind and say that again. I missed this. He said what?
David Ross.
So the Detroit Tigers hired this guy Scott Harris. I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so what is the connection? Yeah.
Back in like 17 or 18, David Ross was all about getting Scott Harris, hey, Scott Harris, go out. It's like, we don't need your quotes on that, dude.
Matt, you're not allowed. I don't know what you're saying that he said here. Is it inappropriate? Is that why you can't say it, or?
Well, he just wanted Scott Harris to have a good time when he was out, and he would have a better chance of getting women if he wore his ring.
Oh, okay. And that's what he said today?
He said it a few years ago.
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's odd. All right. Yeah, no. Well, he also
but it's just silly.
He also gave the bird live on air.
It's silly that they would tweet that today, that someone would dig in, the reporter dug in and was like, hey, here are my favorite quotes from David Ross.
No
thanks.
This is a path I don't want to go on. I'll say something I regret.
Yeah, no.
So tell me your 4-man rotation. You don't like it, right? You're old school.
I don't like it. I think the new school.
So how do you want them to integrate a Keegan Thompson and Alzolay, Wisniewski? I mean, those guys can't just be all 1-inning guys. Akuda Matata.
Yeah, I think the new school Nerdist bullpen is, if I were to do a deeper dive, is probably leveled out a bit, anyways.
Yes.
I'm not against longer outings by relievers, though. But how often is that? I would say maybe 1 or 2 or 3 games a week. So you figure you play 6 or 7 times for 2 or 3 of the games. Maybe you do this piggyback situation, but not every game. That's unreal.
I think Steele and Thompson's going to for sure be a match next year. I think
that would actually be pretty cool.
I think Alzolay will still be a 1-inning guy, and then the question mark will be a Wisniewski situation.
Right. Okay. So
odd show today. I kind of like it though. I like that you don't have to always be on your A+ game. I like a little vulnerability.
Well, and I have some breaking news. Max Scherzer got removed from the game.
Yeah, because what is it? It's like a second start back after the oblique thing.
I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's kind of. I don't really like that.
Well, of course you don't. You're old school. So am I. If I got a perfect game going, you're gonna have to tear my arm off to get me off the field.
That's too bad. So,
and how about that feature last night on Monday Night Football with the brat stop between Milwaukee and Chicago? Enough already.
Yeah, it's they always
like
hit
that's some huge Chicago staple.
I know they always have these weird stories that they produce.
Yeah, it's overdone.
Monday Night Football does it too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Or Sunday Night Baseball, they'll go into like the weird animated thing that's just completely overdone. Couple guys having a slice of pizza. Show the game.
Coming up next, we pay our dues to former Cubs first baseman Frank Schwindel.
He just got DFA'd. He's still alive.
That's coming up next. All right, we're back here on Locked On Cubs. Over the weekend, Frank Schwindel got designated for assignment, and since then, he's been given his outright release. Schwindel this year was the first baseman for 2022. The reason being because in 56 games with the Cubs in 21, Schwindel only hit 342, 389, 613. He was back-to-back NL Rookie of the Month in August and September of last fall. But this season, he only hit 227. So Schwindel, he's been in AAA for a few weeks now, and now his time is up.
Yeah, and it was time, and no one will forget the year that he had, or the stint that he had.
Games, yeah,
the stint that he had last year. I really had hopes that he could sustain it a little bit. I didn't think he'd be this bad. I obviously expected some regression. I did not expect him to be DFA'd. It just didn't work out. It stinks for him, but he'll always have that memory of being, one of the 3-4 best hitters in baseball for a 2-month stretch. And it's a good lesson for our fans, and us and everyone else that watches. Baseball's a
Yeah.
crazy game. You can't overreact one way or another to great stretches, which I tend to do. That's the fan in me, but you never know. And with Schwindel, it was like he just swung at everything this year. There was no approach at the plate. There was no plan. He had that one stretch where he got sent down and brought up. That next couple of weeks, he was hitting the ball hard again, but
Mhm.
he never looked like the guy he was last year. And I hope for him that he feels like it was still a pretty good ride.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. I think there's a chance he could hook on with the team, but I think better for him if he wants to keep playing this sport would be to pursue Japan or Korea, the NPB or the KBO. He would get paid there. I think he would do really well there. Former Cub and my former high school teammate Nick Martini is having a great year in the KBO this year. He's making 800K, the most he's ever made in his life. So there's opportunities. So we'll keep an eye on what he does.
Sure, sure.
Otherwise, I think we should probably get out of here.
Yeah, tonight was we performed tonight like the team performed. A little flat Monday night tilt. I had to rush over here. I was getting myself some dinner, and I didn't realize that at about 8 p.m. Central Time, the line at Chick-fil-A would basically be like Paul McCartney was doing a set. People were just lining up at the doors like the Beatles reincarnated were at Shea Stadium in the mid 60s.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button on all your favorite Locked On Cubs content. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. And remember, you could drop us a text 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second the Locked On MLB podcast, where Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. We brought up magic tricks on yesterday's show. Now we're going to make this show disappear. Until next time, it's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.